Hi, I'm Michael Brown, co-founder and CEO of Teamshares. I'm honored to be here with others who believe in the positive sum nature of employee ownership. So Teamshares' perspective is that employee stock ownership has worked really well in a number of parts of our economy. Public companies, middle market ESOPs and co-ops, tech companies through stock options, and more recently in private equity. Our perspective on employee ownership is yes to all of it. Yes to KKR and ownership works. Yes to employee ownership trusts. Yes to ESOPs. Yes to co-ops. Yes to public companies and tech companies letting employees earn stock through service. There's a giant market in front of all of us. Teamshares' particular role is to help small businesses with 2 to 10 million of revenue become employee-owned when a founder wants to retire. Teamshares brings employee ownership to traditional small businesses to help employees participate in the value they help create every single day, and also help employees ownership happen as part of a legacy when a founder wants to retire. As many of you know, there's a global succession crisis in the small business economy, both here in the US and around the world. It has the potential for very devastating economic impact. Little known fact that about 70% of small businesses in the US, when they try to sell, they fail to sell. And there are a lot of complicated reasons for it, but two that come to mind for us are that family succession has largely gone away, which was the traditional succession method for centuries. And the other fact is that small businesses are messy, complex types of businesses, and they're uneconomic for traditional alternative asset management models. So Teamshares created a new direct ownership model scaled by software to buy a company from a retiring owner, dilute ourselves by 10% with an initial grant of common stock, and then gradually retire our stock over 20 years to an end state of 80% employee ownership and 20% Teamshares ownership. The easiest mental model to think about Teamshares is that we're kind of like a Berkshire Hathaway inspired holding company, but with a few really important twists. The first is employee ownership versus 100% ownership. The second is leadership. So Warren Buffett famously won't supply a CEO. We have to create and train CEOs. We don't use the title CEO, we use president because that's more appropriate, but we are basically training and hiring and supporting these presidents across the country and recruiting really talented people into small business to complement the technical expertise that's already in these small businesses. So the third twist is that we build a lot of software education and financial products. So we actually only have 2 junior investment professionals, and we have 50 people building software. So a few things that are quite subtle in our model that I'd like to draw out. One is that employees don't pay for the common stock that they directly own. They earn it through service, through vesting, just like being in a tech company. And the second part of that is that the employees do not have to put up cash or equity or anything like that to continue the employee ownership journey. We simply use cash flows to repurchase shares that Teamshares owns. The second point that's subtle is that these companies are never for sale again. I think there's a lot of people that just assume we'll sort of sell these companies for a gain. It is both in our economic and capitalist interests to have permanent ownership, or permanent by virtue of sort of the 20% stake, because we believe in compounding and we don't have an LP fund. We're not constrained by selling. And it is in the employee's interest too. We believe that it's a really sustainable model for a company to never be for sale again. So nearly all the employees in the Teamshares sort of ecosystem, of which there are over 2,200 employees now across America who now have stock in the company they work for. Nearly all of them start off with 5 figures of stock. And those who stay to help build the companies, many, if not probably most of them over the long run, can earn 6 figures of stock. It's pretty remarkable in the context when you think about how small these initial firm values are. These are, sometimes as small as $1 million in purchase price and sometimes up to $5 million. So we think about a pragmatic goal for employee ownership is to help facilitate home ownership over the long run. So to date, our impact has been that we've started the employee ownership process at 84 companies that we've acquired from retiring owners across about 30 states and 40 specific industries. They really fall into about 6 sectors: distribution, manufacturing, restaurants, retail, business and consumer services. Very, very traditional parts of the economy. A few examples: Donna Millie's, which is an 8-location burger and fast food chain in Omaha and Lincoln, Nebraska. Another example is Maggie's Organics, based in Dexter, Michigan, just outside of Ann Arbor. And it designs and manufactures really high quality organic wool goods using fair trade and sustainable products. And then we have lots of everyday businesses like Coronado Paint and Decorating in Santa Fe, New Mexico, or Craig's Landscaping outside of Boston. So for the leadership part, we recruit and train really talented generalist business presidents who have business acumen, have been at great firms, whether it's a McKinsey or a USAA, just at really great firms with management training programs. And then they also care about the model. They care about creating, stock value for themselves and their colleagues. And they're really high empathy leaders. We want modern leaders who are going to lead the company, but also bring employees, their fellow employee owners, into the conversation on the direction of the company. We've been very fortunate to be backed by really notable and supportive investors like Union Square Ventures and Khosla. And those venture funds, which we publicly disclosed, is just about 245 million in total, seed through Series D. That's really helped us scale and build a software team that we wouldn't otherwise have been able to afford with the cash flows of the business. So we built a lot of software to scale our own model, from the transactions, president hiring, to all the equity management and financial management. And now we're starting to build financial products too, including a neobank and charge cards and Next Business Insurance. So all the products that we build are sort of a horizontal strategy where we're solving real problems for the businesses. Each of these products has real challenges for small businesses. And we're passing through savings, and of course Teamshares is making money as well. And so we think about this as just sort of a win-win for everyone, and a very strong flywheel for Teamshares. We've obviously seen firsthand, just like you have, how equity alignment helps create, just a really natural incentive. And then, along with the financial education we do, and then the sort of cultural change management is driven by the presidents, really strong company cultures are created. We firmly believe you can't just issue stock and expect anything to happen. It's a multi-year journey to create a true employee ownership environment that involves financial literacy, involves the cultural changes that are necessary, and the kind of a sorting of who wants to stick around and really dig in and help build these businesses and take responsibility. Over the long run, Teamshares hopes to help build 10,000 employee-owned businesses across the U.S. And we will be digging in for a long time. We're only at 84. We've come a long way in sort of the last 3 years, but there's a huge market out there across the small business landscape. So thank you for having me. We're very excited about the future of employee ownership for small business and the future of employee ownership across all parts of the economy. And yes to all. And so thanks for everyone who is also helping innovate and create new models that fit different parts of the economy. If you wish to connect with me, my email is michael@teamshares.com. Thank you.